When your livelihood depends on iron and steel, reliability isn't just a feature, it's everything. For generations, American farmers trusted certain engines to fire up on frozen mornings and keep pulling through scorching afternoons. These power plants didn't just move tractors, they built farms, fed nations, and became legends whispered about in machine sheds across the heartland. Today, we're counting down the 10 most bulletproof American tractor engines ever bolted to a frame. 10. Minneapolis Moline 504. The Minneapolis Moline 504 six-cylinder diesel was one of those engines that didn't always make headlines, but out in the fields of the Midwest, it became a quiet legend. Introduced in the 1960s, the 504 cubic inch inline six was the beating heart of tractors like the G1000 and the G1350 LP, delivering around 100 horsepower when most farmers were still content with 70. This engine was a testament to Minneapolis Moline's design philosophy: if in doubt, overbuild it. Thick cylinder walls, oversized bearings, and a forged crankshaft meant the 504 could handle far more than its rated power. Its bore and stroke, 4.625 by 5.00 inches, were carried over from MM's modular engine family dating back to the 1930s. In fact, those same dimensions were shared by the smaller 336 four-cylinder, making parts commonality easier for farmers and dealers alike. Rated at about 1,800 revolutions per minute in the G1000, it wasn't a high-speed screamer. Instead, it lugged steadily with that low RPM confidence that farmers trusted when plowing through heavy soils. And it used the Lenova energy cell combustion system, an indirect injection style that some competitors were leaving behind by the 1960s. But here's the thing, the Lenova system was incredibly forgiving of poor quality fuel. Whether you had summer diesel, off-road heating oil, or whatever you could scrounge up, the 504 would burn it. A Rusamaster injection pump sat at the heart of the fuel system, and while it occasionally needed calibration, it was simple enough that any farm mechanic with basic tools could handle it. Stories abound of 504S logging 15,000 hours before their first major overhaul, a staggering number at the time. By the time White Motor Company absorbed Minneapolis Moline in the early 1960s, thousands of these engines were working the land. And even today, you'll find 504S still powering irrigation pumps or running as stationary engines decades after their tractors retired. Overbuilt, understressed, and dependable, this was American engineering at its finest. Before we move on to the next one in the list, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you're enjoying this content so far, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch these videos without subscribing. Imagine what we could accomplish if everyone subscribed. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. Thanks to all of you who do. 9. Caterpillar 3208. The Caterpillar 3208 earned a controversial reputation, but those who understood its design philosophy swore by it. This 10.4-liter V8 diesel, introduced in 1975, powered everything from agricultural tractors to dump trucks. Originally commissioned by Ford in the late 1960s as a lightweight diesel alternative to gas engines, the 3208 became Caterpillar's answer to the mid-range power market. Called a throwaway engine due to its parent bore design, meaning no replaceable cylinder sleeves, the 3208 actually proved remarkably durable when operated within its intended parameters. The naturally aspirated versions, particularly those rated at 210, 225 horsepower, could easily achieve 20,000 to 25,000 hours of operation. Turbocharged variants pushed 200 and 5,375 horsepower, but required more careful maintenance. The V8 configuration made it smooth running compared to inline competitors, and its mechanical injection system was dead simple. No computers, no sensors, just mechanical reliability. Cold starts were never an issue, even in sub-zero temperatures, and the engine would fire up with barely a revolution. The 3208's ability to run at 3,200 revolutions per minute, unusually high for a diesel, gave it flexibility that slower turning engines couldn't match. White and Oliver installed thousands of 3208S in their four-wheel drive tractors during the 1970s and 80s. The 2255 Oliver powered by the 3208, became legendary for its pulling power and reliability. Farmers discovered these engines would run on almost any grade of diesel fuel, making them perfect for operations far from quality fuel sources. Though production ended in 1999 due to emissions regulations, the 3208's legacy lives on. Caterpillar still sells remanufactured units, and parts remain widely available. For farmers who needed dependable power without complexity, the 3208 delivered exactly that, a straightforward, tough engine that just kept running. 8. Kubota 5, 1505, and V2203. Kubota earned their reputation for reliability one small engine at a time, and the V1505 and V2203 four-cylinder diesels became the gold standard for compact dependability. While Kubota's engines are designed in Japan, these models powered tractors assembled at their massive Gainesville, Georgia facility, making them integral to American farming. Found in everything from compact tractors to skid steers, these engines redefined what farmers expected from smaller equipment. The VC 1505 displacing 1.5 liters and the V2203 at 2.2 liters shared a design philosophy of simplicity and over-engineering. Indirect injection made them quieter and smoother than direct injection competitors, while also being more forgiving of fuel quality. The cast iron construction was heavy for the size, but contributed to exceptional longevity and heat dissipation. What set these Kubota engines apart was their ability to run all day at full throttle without complaint. Where other compact diesels would overheat or wear prematurely under constant load, the V1505 and V2203 just kept humming along. Farmers running compact utility tractors equipped with these engines regularly reported 10,000 plus hours without major repairs, extraordinary for engines this size. The V2203 in particular found its sweet spot in 25 to 35 horsepower tractors, perfect for small farms, orchards, and landscape operations. Its balance of power and efficiency made it ideal for loader work, mowing, and light tillage. The engine's compact dimensions and relatively light weight also made it a favorite for repowering older equipment. Even today, these engines command premium prices on the used market. Their reputation for starting easily, running quietly, and lasting forever made them the choice for operators who couldn't afford downtime. In an era of increasingly complex engines, Kubota proved that simple, well-built designs still had their place. 7. Case 451 BD. The Case 451 BD six-cylinder diesel became the backbone of heavy-duty farming throughout the 1970s. This 451 cubic inch engine powered the legendary Case 1070, 1090, and 1170 tractors, delivering reliable power when farms were getting bigger and demanding more from their equipment. Built in Racine, Wisconsin, this engine embodied Case's philosophy of rugged simplicity. With a 4.375-inch bore and 5-inch stroke, the 451 BD was designed for torque rather than speed. Running at modest RPMs, these engines produced tremendous lugging power that made them ideal for heavy tillage and PTO work. The cast iron block was massively overbuilt, with main bearing caps that looked like they belonged on a ship engine rather than a farm tractor. The mechanical injection system, while not the most fuel efficient, proved incredibly reliable. Farmers appreciated that they could adjust and time the injection pump themselves with basic tools and a service manual. The turbo versions, 451 BDT, added significant power without sacrificing longevity, making them popular in larger operations where every horsepower counted. Case built these engines to industrial standards, meaning they could handle continuous operation at full load. Many 451 BDs logged over 20,000 hours in commercial applications like feedlots and custom farming operations. The engine's ability to maintain oil pressure even when worn was legendary. Operators joked that as long as the gauge showed something, it would keep running. Parts availability remains excellent even today, with complete rebuild kits readily available. The modular design meant that major components were shared across different Case engine families, keeping costs reasonable. For farmers who valued toughness over sophistication, the 451 BD delivered exactly what they needed: unstoppable power that would outlast the tractor it powered. 6. Ford 401. The Ford 401 six-cylinder diesel became legendary in the late 1960s when it powered the 8000 and 9000 series tractors. Built for heavy fieldwork at Ford's engine plant, it offered raw torque, consistent starting, and durability under punishing conditions. It resisted overheating, rarely stalled, and withstood decades of hard use while earning farmers' trust through sheer mechanical determination. Displacing 401 cubic inches, this engine was Ford's answer to the growing demand for more powerful tractors. Engineers designed it specifically for agricultural use, with thick cylinder walls, heavy-duty bearings, and a gear-driven camshaft that eliminated timing chain problems. The cross-flow head design improved breathing and cooling, crucial for long days pulling heavy implements. What really set the Ford 401 apart was its incredibly smooth power delivery. Unlike some competitors that were peaky or rough running, the 401 pulled like a locomotive from idle to rated speed. Farmers loved how it would lug down to almost nothing without dying, then power back up when the load lightened. This characteristic made it perfect for moldboard plowing in varying soil conditions. The injection system, supplied by Sims or Cav depending on the year, proved remarkably trouble-free. These pumps would run for thousands of hours with nothing more than filter changes. When rebuilds were eventually needed, parts were affordable and widely available through Ford's extensive dealer network. Many independent shops could also service these engines, keeping maintenance costs manageable. Today, finding a Ford 8000 or 9000 with a good 401 engine is like discovering buried treasure. These tractors are still working farms across America. Their blue paint faded, but their engines still pulling strong after more than half a century of service. 5. Perkins A4.236. This four-cylinder diesel became the workhorse of countless small farms across America. Found in Massey-Ferguson models like the 165 and 255, the British-designed Perkins A4.236 was fuel-efficient, easy to service, and incredibly tough for its size. It handled cold starts, heavy loads, and long workdays without complaint, earning respect far beyond its modest displacement. Built to Perkins's exacting standards and widely distributed through Massey-Ferguson's dealer network, the A4.236 brought European engineering sensibility to American farms. The 236 cubic inch displacement hit the sweet spot for utility tractors, enough muscle for serious work, but economical enough for smaller operations. Its indirect injection design, while slightly less fuel efficient than direct injection, made it quieter, smoother, and more tolerant of varying fuel quality. The engine's reputation for cold weather starting became legendary. Even at temperatures that would leave other diesels struggling, the A4.236 would fire up with just a touch of glow plug heat. This reliability made it especially popular in northern states where winter chores couldn't wait for warm weather. The robust Lucas Cave injection pump rarely needed attention beyond regular filter changes. What really endeared the A4.236 to farmers was its simplicity. The cylinder head came off easily for valve work, the injection pump was accessible, and most repairs could be done with hand tools. Parts were readily available and reasonably priced, whether from Massey-Ferguson dealers or numerous aftermarket suppliers. Many engines ran 15,000 hours between major overhauls, exceptional for a naturally aspirated diesel of this size. For many farmers, this engine represented more than just horsepower. It was the reason their tractors stayed in service season after season, proving that good design transcends borders. 4. Allis Chalmers 230 diesel. The Allis Chalmers 230 diesel engine powered some of the most innovative tractors of the 1950s. Built in West Allis, Wisconsin, this six-cylinder Buda Lenova design helped establish Allis Chalmers as a serious competitor in the diesel tractor market. Found in the WD-45 diesel, it represented a major technological leap forward for many farmers making the move from gasoline to diesel power. Displacing 230 cubic inches, this engine delivered around 40 horsepower in the WD-45 diesel, impressive for its day, and enough to convince many farmers that diesel was the future. In later years, Allis advanced to the 262 cubic inch 6, which powered the D17 diesel, and in turbocharged form, The D19 one of the very first American tractors to come from the factory with a turbocharger. That made Allis Chalmers years ahead of much of the competition. The 230's design was tough and practical. It featured a gear-driven camshaft that eliminated timing chain problems, a crankshaft forged from premium steel, and a block cast with extra material in high-stress areas. These engines became known for their distinctive sound, a steady rhythmic beat that could be recognized from across the farm. What made the 230 stand out was its versatility. It tolerated a wide range of fuel qualities with only minor adjustments, ran cool even under steady load, and started reliably in nearly any weather. The Persian orange tractors it powered became icons of the American landscape, and many operators reported their engines running for decades with nothing more than regular maintenance. The 230's combination of durability, practicality, and timing helped it pave the way for Allis Chalmers' diesel reputation. For farmers seeking a dependable step into diesel technology, it was a trusted companion that helped ease the transition into a new era of power. 3. International Harvester D282. The DE 282 six-cylinder diesel powered the Farmall 560 and early 706 models, proving itself through countless hours in American fields. Built at International Harvester's Melrose Park, Illinois engine plant, this engine represented IH's commitment to bringing diesel efficiency to row crop farming. While not the fastest or most powerful, it excelled at what mattered most, starting reliably. If you were patient with the glow plugs, working tirelessly, and asking for little in return. Displacing 282 cubic inches, the D282 produced around 60 horsepower, enough for 4 bottom plows and heavy cultivation. Its long stroke design generated tremendous torque at low RPMs, perfect for the steady pulling required in fieldwork. The indirect injection system with glow plugs gave it good fuel economy for its size and helped it run smoothly, though cold starts required a bit of waiting on winter mornings. International Harvester built these engines like industrial equipment, with dry sleeves that made rebuilding straightforward and economical. When sleeves wore out, they could be replaced without machining the block, keeping overhaul costs manageable. The massive flywheel smoothed out power pulses, making the D282 ideal for PTO applications like grinding feed or running silage blowers. While early versions had some sleeve fit issues, once sorted out, the D282 became incredibly reliable. The straightforward design meant even small-town mechanics could keep them running for decades. Many logged over 20,000 hours in their working lives, with examples still running strong after 60 years of service. The D282's reputation for longevity made it a cornerstone of American farming during a pivotal era when diesel power was transforming agriculture. 2. Cummins 5.9L 6BT. The Cummins 5.9L, designated 6BT, built both a reputation and a legacy that extends far beyond agriculture. Originally designed for industrial use in Columbus, Indiana, this engine migrated into agricultural equipment and became legendary for its rugged simplicity. With mechanical injection, minimal electronics, and a heavy-duty cast iron block, it could handle poor quality fuel and punishing workloads that would destroy lesser engines. Case IH adopted the 6BT for their Maxim series tractors, where it proved capable of delivering reliable power in the most demanding conditions. The 5.9-liter displacement provided an ideal balance of power and fuel efficiency. Farmers trusted it because it often surpassed 20,000 hours with little more than oil changes and filter replacements. The inline-6 configuration gave the 6BT perfect primary and secondary balance, resulting in smooth operation and reduced wear. The Bosch P7100 injection pump, nicknamed the P-Pump by enthusiasts, became legendary for its reliability and tunability. Farmers could adjust fuel delivery for more power or better economy with simple hand tools, no laptop required. What really distinguished the 6BT was its serviceability. Major components were easily accessible, and the engine could be rebuilt in frame without removing it from the tractor. Though it used apparent bore design rather than wet sleeves, rebuilds were still straightforward, and the gear-driven camshaft eliminated timing belt concerns. Known for immense torque at low RPMs, it would pull like a freight train from idle. The 6BT's influence extended far beyond agriculture. The same basic engine powered everything from pickup trucks to marine vessels, creating a massive parts and knowledge network that benefits farmers to this day. 1. John Deere 404. The John Deere 404 six-cylinder diesel became the gold standard of dependable farming. Used in models like the 4040, 4630, and 7020, it gained a reputation for cold weather starting, clean running, and rugged endurance. Mechanics appreciated its straightforward design and accessible components, while farmers loved that it simply refused to quit. Manufactured in Waterloo, Iowa, the 404 cubic inch engine represented John Deere's philosophy of conservative engineering and uncompromising reliability. Introduced in the late 1960s, it powered some of Deere's most successful tractors through the 1970s and early 1980s. The engine's bore and stroke were perfectly balanced for agricultural work, delivering smooth power from idle to rated speed. The 404's fuel system showcased Deere's attention to detail. The inline Rusa master pump was positioned for easy access, and the injectors could be removed without disturbing other components. The pre-combustion chamber design made starting effortless and reduced the diesel knock that annoyed operators of direct injection engines. This also made the 404 surprisingly refined for a farm diesel. John Deere built the 404 with future maintenance in mind. Oil filters, fuel filters, and air cleaners were positioned for easy access. The valve cover came off with just a few bolts, making adjustment simple. Even major repairs like head gasket replacement could be done with the engine in the frame. This serviceability meant minimal downtime crucial during planting and harvest seasons. The 404's reputation for longevity is unmatched. It's common to find examples with 25,000 plus hours still running strong. Even decades later, many 404S are still pulling plows and baling hay, proving that simplicity and solid engineering outlast trends. The engine's conservative design, quality materials, and precise manufacturing tolerances created a combination that defined reliability for a generation of farmers. These 10 engines didn't just power tractors, they powered the American dream of farming. From frozen Dakota mornings to scorching Texas afternoons, they proved that good engineering beats fancy features every time. Each one earned its reputation through millions of hours of honest work. If this trip down memory lane fired up your engine, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. Share your own stories about these legendary power plants in the comments below. Until next time, keep those engines running and that iron moving.